Let's get to some potential salary cap cuts, and we're going to go division by division here. And we're going to start things off with the NFC East and one Dez Bryant.
I am the host of the Cowboys Report, and there are a significant amount of Cowboys fans who say, hey, let's cut Dez Bryant. We don't need him. We can get somebody better. Let's get rid of Dez. All he does is drop passes. I actually don't think you're going to see Dez Bryant be cut. I don't think he's going to be anywhere but the Dallas Cowboys next year. You can save quite a bit of money, $8.5 million, $12.5 million, but if you save the $12.5, you can't use that in free agency, and even if you save the $8.5, what receiver are you going to find in free agency that's better than Dez Bryant? Can you get Allen Robinson at that point coming off the injury? You're not going to be able to get Jarvis Landry at that amount of money. I don't know if you're going to be able to find that proper upgrade. And if you got to spend more than that,
Dontrell Inman.
Funny, very funny. If you try and spend more than that, you're not going to be able to re-sign guys like Anthony Hitchens or fill other needs. So the Cowboys' biggest issue is not Dez Bryant. It's that they kind of have no help with Dez Bryant. Jason Witten is not the same player he was in his prime. He's still a solid option, but he's not a number 2 guy. Terrence Williams is definitely not a number 2 guy. Cole Beasley was not as good this year. He's still a slot guy anyway. So the Cowboys are probably going to keep Dez Bryant and try and get some more help. I think a round 2 pick makes the most sense for the Cowboys at that position.
What about this argument? The Dallas Cowboys want to lock in DeMarcus Lawrence with a long-term deal, and they're trying to save some money that way, and maybe they cut Dez.
They have the money to resign DeMarcus Lawrence, but if you cut Dez, then you're still putting yourself, you have to go get more receiver help. So
Okay.
I think in the end, it's a cost evaluation of, let's just call it the $8.5 million. Can we get a better receiver than Dez for this offense with that money? And I don't think you can in free agency. And you can do it in the draft, maybe, but you're not going to get Calvin Ridley. And frankly, none of the receivers are better than Dez Bryant right now. And you're trying to win right now as the Cowboys. I think you have to keep him.
Okay.
Even though he's not the same player that he once was.
All right, we have the options for you watching right now, ladies and gentlemen. Should the Cowboys keep, trade, or cut Dez Bryant? Throw in your votes. All right, let's stay in the NFC East. Of course, we have more cap cuts. Eli Apple, cornerback for the New York Giants. Many regard him as a cancer in the locker room.
And this is not really a cap cut. This is a cancer cut. This is addition by subtraction. And normally rookie contracts are fully guaranteed. But Eli Apple is a little bit different. He was suspended to end the year. And per ESPN, the contract language in Eli Apple's deal will allow the Giants to get out of that guaranteed money so they don't have to take a negative $2 million cap hit by cutting Eli Apple. So I think with a guy like Apple who has talent but just doesn't seem to have his head screwed on straight, you just say, you know what, we're just going to dump him and move on from there. I don't think that they want to deal with him in that spot.
All right, so Eli Apple there for the New York Giants, a potential cap cut. We'll stay in New York. How about Brandon Marshall, wide receiver for the Giants, injured his ankle in October and was done the rest of the year?
I think it's pretty likely Brandon Marshall is not on the New York Giants next season. You see the cap hit, $6.15 million. You can save all but $1 million of that. At that point, I just don't see Brandon Marshall coming back. I think his best years are definitely behind him, and he's definitely not worth over $5 million. I think you'll see Marshall cut. Maybe he signs with another team, even the Giants, for less money, tries to give it one more shot, or he just goes into his broadcasting career, which I think he'll be pretty good at.
Or the XFL.
Ooh,
in a couple of years.
Talk more about that later.
Yes, we will.
Yeah, we'll see about the XFL, but I think Brandon Marshall's career is very close to being done as well.
All right, so there's Brandon Marshall. Let's go to Washington now. How about Sua Cravens, the strong safety for the Washington Redskins, did not play this year?
Yeah, Cravens is in a very interesting spot because it's not super clear why he didn't play. There have been conflicting reports at various points in the year. His agent said he was medically cleared, which is kind of like that's not why he originally left. I think with other notes here on Cravens are that some said that there are some doubts about his commitment to the game. There are some questions about whether or not he was truly focused. He had some personal stuff going on. I think what you might see with Cravens, the Redskins will try to trade him, but I think these sides will be heading for a divorce. I don't know if the Redskins want to bring him back after everything that kind of went poorly last year.
Now, you see the deadline there at the bottom of your screen, how the money can change if you wait past June 1st to cut a player. And obviously the savings are better if the Washington Redskins cut Sua Cravens after the June 1st line.
So what that essentially is kind of a money-saving tip, that it allows the Redskins to, let me first start. When you cut a player, all of the dead money and all the guaranteed money left on that player's contract gets accelerated into the year that you cut him. And that's why you see teams somehow have to take a loss in that year to cut a player, because it costs them more money because of the way the contract was structured. But you can make them a post-June 1st cut, and that spreads that cap hit that got accelerated out over 2 years. So it's often about half extra is what you end up saving there. A little bit more in this case for Cravens because of the way the rookie deal is structured. But if you use a post-June 1st cut on somebody, you actually aren't allowed to use that money until after June 1st. So you save more in the long run, but you don't have that available in free agency.
Right. All right, so there's Sua Cravens there for the Redskins. How about the Dallas Cowboys yet again? Orlando Scandrick as a potential cap cut.
He is also a potential trade candidate, just like Sua Cravens was. Orlando Scandrick will not be on the Dallas Cowboys next year. I think he knows that. I think the Cowboys know that as well. Scandrick at this point in his NFL career, for the Cowboys in particular, is a progress inhibitor. They've got Jadobi Awuzie. They've got Jordan Lewis. They like Anthony Brown. They should probably move Byron Jones to corner. They could spend another young pick on that position as well. Scandrick has been a valuable member of the Dallas Cowboys, but it's time for both sides to part ways. They will try to trade him. His cap hit's really not that bad for a reliable corner who, $5 million is not that much for a guy who can be a nickel, can be a blitzer from that nickel spot, can do some things on the outside corner as well. But it doesn't make sense for the Cowboys. They'll try to trade him, but coming off a back injury, that includes a back fracture, I think he's more likely to be cut and get picked up by another team and probably contribute for them in a minimal role as well.
All right, so Orlando Scandrick, a potential cap cut there from the Dallas Cowboys. Let's summarize our NFC East possible salary cap cuts. So you see Dez Bryant there, Eli Apple, Brandon Marshall, Sua Cravens, and Orlando Scandrick.